Welcome to Business Time, the main stage for your business.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of our podcast. And today, if you want to get to know a little bit on the business side, the entrepreneurial side, and get to hear an amazing, inspiring story from an amazing woman, this is the episode for you. I want to welcome to this episode Preea V Mane. Hi Preea, what's up?
Hi Elias, all good. How are you? Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you.
Great, and it's an amazing opportunity for you. And I want to thank you for coming to our podcast. I just want to introduce you for those who still don't know you and will get to know you in this interview. You are a VP for commercial, you are an entrepreneur, author. We're going to speak about your book that is starring over there in your right corner of your screen. Public speaker, coach, and mentor. And you know, Preea, I'm doing a lot of these podcasts lately and I'm speaking to a lot of people. And I'm really was so impressed with your story and with your ideas, and I'm really happy that we get to do this podcast because I feel that a lot of people should hear your story and should hear about you. So I want to begin maybe with the things that impressed me the most, your personal story, the fact that you came here to Dubai with, we're talking about dealing the cards. So you started, you got some really tough cards to begin here in
Absolutely.
Dubai, and you still done amazing things. So please just share your personal story with us.
Perfect. So I'll start with Dubai. I'll not start from the beginning of my career. So when I came to Dubai in 2006, so I came here with my 1.5-year-old son. And imagine staying and sharing as the first month till you actually get hold on your salaries, right? But I was very happy because I came to Dubai as a chance vacation. And when I came for a chance vacation, I was gifted with the offer of the job. So I was super excited. At the same time, when I came here along with my son, we were coming from a joint family. You imagine the trauma that child went through. My heart breaks every single time if I have to go back and think about it. So it was definitely not easy, but there was a drive to become a role model for my child. And that was the reason I had taken this big step to make my own identity, to become a role model for him. When he grows, he should look at me and I should be able to teach him something in life, where we try to balance out all the fun in life, but something to make as a career out of my qualification that I have done. So when I came in here, I was gifted with a beautiful job with the government, TCOM Investments, and I started my career within the media sector. It was difficult, reason being, in the beginning, no transport, no nothing, right? No car. So the first thing that came to my mind, because we as children, our mother had instilled in us to be independent in life. And that's the first thing that every time if I'm stuck, that's something that comes back to my mind. So my vision at that time, the short term, was to make sure I am independent and not dependent. So I started with the sharing buses and everything, going to the work, new people, new culture, very nervous, even to speak to my colleagues because I don't know how would people perceive, right? Because when you're in a different culture, and same words get perceived in a different way because some of the words are different meaning in different languages, right?
Of course.
So I was always hesitant. How would I even talk to people around me? A special thanks to my line manager. She was local. She was an angel. And she was the one who gave me comfort and the confidence to become comfortable in the space. I was introvert personality at that given point of time, can you imagine? And I joined the sales side of broadcast. And we had to deal with broadcast companies to bring them here. And we were developing the whole media industry. She would push me, go and talk to your colleagues. She would push me to go and talk to people around and the companies. So though it was a little difficult to come out of my comfort zone, but it really helped me for a long-term perspective because now I'm an extrovert and I can't stop talking.
Amazing. So to see that change, it's amazing, from starting point that you have, and you've been through a lot in your career in Dubai. It's been amazing. You've done a lot from banking to Expo City, and I really want you to share a little bit about your resume here in Dubai.
Absolutely. So I started with the media cluster. Before that, in India, I had reached my career from a coordinator to center head. Then I got an opportunity to become an entrepreneur for a year. But because I came to Dubai and this place was so beautiful, I didn't want to leave the opportunity. So I actually had to go back to the sales coordinator position. Now, because I had always this thing of being an entrepreneur, the attitude was always different because you don't really want to serve, but you really want to contribute for the company to grow. You always have a different mindset, right?
Of course.
So even though the title was a coordinator, but the work was always being a manager, being a director, being a CEO. So giving a lot of ideas as well for the company from time to time. And those ideas actually became real, and I lived my dream through those ideas. We had these sessions where they used to tell us what is missing and tell us the gaps. So I happened to even write about design district. So I had mentioned as fashion design district and then interior design, and that actually came up with the leadership as a design district. So that was in the year 2007. And as I grew in this media sector, it was such a beautiful journey because being a government entity, being into real estate, we were never put into a corner saying that this is real estate, sell the offices. No, we were actually supported to grow within the industry. We did a lot of research. So there's a free zone authority, right, who creates a whole regulation. So we used to work hand in hand. So we used to find all the gaps and making sure that these gaps are provided as feedback to the free zone authority to contribute within the regulation, to contribute towards the list of segments that is missing out. So any company who wants to come and set up, they find their related activities and they're able to, function very comfortably. So that was the vision as we started. We started with Dubai Studio City, where we had boutique studios for the broadcast companies. And we had sold all of them. Then came the crisis, 2008.
Yeah.
So we just moved to Studio City, and can you imagine, everybody backed out. So all the boutique studios, which was customized products, was back to square one, and we had to fill the whole space.
2 years after you came to Dubai.
Yes.
With your son and nothing.
Imagine.
Wow.
But thanks to the leadership who gave us confidence that nothing to worry about, we will make sure to stride together. We stay together. It's a challenge. It's not a block. So keep your mindset accordingly and move forward. With those kind of support coming in and the team coming together, we were able to fill that space within 6 months, fill it up fully, because we had new projects coming in parallel and we had started to fill that as well. So the point here was the teamwork and the leadership, which goes hand in hand, and being resilient. The team was amazing. So that's how we started to grow together. Then came the opportunity to grow in Design District. I was thrilled because it was, in a way, I will never take a credit of anything because it works at a higher level. It works with the leadership, right? But when you become a part of that project and you're able to see something that you must have at least put as an idea, it's actually coming to life and you're just being a part of it, contributing your area. So that was the most beautiful feeling that I had that time. When I moved over there, I moved into the leasing department. So coming out from the sales to the back office. And when I moved to the back office, I figured out there's a whole different two worlds. The one which is customer facing is a whole different world. But when it comes to a back office, it's a whole different world. There's a kind of disconnection is what I felt at that time. But again, the support was very good from the management. They helped me because what I used to work as, I used to find the gaps as a habit because I have a background of quality management and banking with numbers. I used to find gaps. We started creating proper processes. We created digitization of the whole process, keeping the client as in mind, as the center of experience. Because just giving a service doesn't help. It's all about experience, isn't it? And that's what we try to create in every single stage. From there, moving to acting director of the design district, with the amazing leadership as well. I got to learn a lot. I would say TCOM is a school. So we get to learn a lot from there. And then came the opportunity for Expo City as a VP, which was a dream come true at that given point of time. And starting from scratch for Dubai Design District, starting from scratch for Dubai Studio City, and then starting from scratch for Dubai Expo City. It was such a beautiful journey because I was able to, again, start from scratch from the processes and up. So while I was creating all these things, I had an awakening, you can say, because it was all about me, my growth, what I have to do, where I have to move. So, what is that I am doing to give back to society? So, that's when I had to take a step back. I wanted to enjoy all the blessings that I've got because I was not able to spend a lot of time with the family. And what's the use if you're not able to spend time with your family, right?
Of course.
And I wanted to live my dream because I always wanted to become an entrepreneur. So then, definitely with the support of your family, I spoke to my husband. I'm like, it's not happening. Want to have my plan B as entrepreneur, but this is not giving me time. So always his support is like, choose your way. And I'm like, of course, I'm going with entrepreneurship. And that's where I started my journey of entrepreneurship. Before I start with the entrepreneurship, and the main challenge, to take such a big decision of moving from your career where you're at the peak of your career and moving into something big and something small to start off with, right? Because you will take time.
But this is entrepreneurship, right? You always need to make something new from scratch and fight with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the dilemma going on in my mind. Should I not? But do you know what, Elias? People come in our lives for a reason. And I really believe into it. Because that was the period when I was actually putting all my thought process, all the energies were coming together. All the doors started opening. People started coming in my life where they actually were starting to contribute for me to move towards that direction. Certain souls came in my life giving me wings to fly like an eagle above the clouds, have a different perspective of life, and just ignore all the noises. And that really helped me to consolidate myself. So whatever is my qualification, whatever is my experience is what I've started to put within this journey. While I start this journey, my first thing was
the book.
So the book is about strategy, leadership, and management. Not only to help businesses, but any talent, whether they want to contribute within their corporate career or entrepreneurs who want to start their own journey. It actually helped me to consolidate my own self to put the right strategies in place for my business. And I'll be very happy if this helps any single person out there. So please read my book, and it is going to help you, I promise.
Amazing. So definitely it's a must. Let's just say the name, Strategy and Leader, Vision to Victory. By you. I want to start talking about those things you just mentioned about leadership.
Yes.
And I know that you've done it in many organizations. You work with a lot of leaderships, and you also yourself became a leadership, and now you are helping other organizations, other businesses to create their own leadership inside the business. So while doing it, what are the most important things you feel that a company should know when they are starting to create their own leadership?
It's very important to create the succession plan, right? Because the way market moves and fluctuates, the crisis will keep coming on and off. And sometimes it is like unexpected situations. People come, people go. There are emergencies. There are different type of scenarios. For me, I would say a leadership who first is a visionary have to have a very, very clear vision that you can share with your team. So they come together to implement your vision in the right direction. So extremely important to have the clarity for yourself and for your employees, number one. And of course, what goes out in the market. And that's where when you're very clear, people are able to connect with you and you don't really have to sell yourselves, right? The message should be very clear. Now, when I say about a succession plan, when it comes to the leadership, we really need to make sure during this period, your people are ready. The people have resilience, right? So at any given point of time, any scenario comes up, you have your team ready to become leaders, right? The more leaders you create within your company, you imagine you're creating your mini-me's. And imagine how you will then grow your business because you have so many mini-me's. And I want leaders to be with an open mind. Don't create a block or stop the growth of your people thinking that they will leave me. Become a school. This is what I've learned from my companies where I grew. The leadership over there lets you bloom. They give you opportunities to grow. And if I am where I am today, it's all about the leadership that I had and the support that I got and the growth that I got from the company. So this is my message to all the leaders. Grow together.
Amazing. Yeah, that's definitely, it's sometimes so hard for leaders or leadership to release, as you say, like we are growing, our people inside the organization, we are letting them, sometimes they start, as a very small roles, and they are progressing, becoming managers themselves and even more, and releasing, as you might say, or letting them go, or becoming a school, as you say, it's a really tough muscle to work on, I feel. So they are very important what you're saying. You're speaking about quality management a lot.
Yes.
You've done it in your own businesses and your own organization, and it's something that you focus on a lot. Can you just tell us what are the main things you think business owners and organizations and leaderships should consider about that?
So quality management, so I'm a certified lead auditor as well. I did a qualification and I implemented within the company. So I worked very closely when it came to the business excellence. So what is very important when it comes to quality management is to create awareness within your company that don't worry when you have auditors coming in, whether internal or external. It's actually helping us to put the processes in place. Because if you're planning from your journey from A to Z, there's a lot of long processes that you have to complete, right? And you want to make sure everything goes right. So there is nothing called as right or wrong when it comes to employees to be transparent, but they have to welcome and they have to open up. The more you open up and you're able to help to find the gaps, it's easy for you to amend your processes. So when it comes to quality management, it's all about making sure your processes are improvised on a continual basis. So it's not like you just put the process in beginning and you're done, because things will evolve. Your processes will evolve. You have to be at par with the world, right? Technology is coming in. Everything is changing on every single day. So you have to keep up. So you have to make sure your processes are always updated and you are up in the market. So you don't lose out on any of the opportunities. So that's my message. Quality management is extremely important with any segment, whether small business or bigger. The more you start with the right processes and the right framework, it helps you to progress faster.
Amazing. And let's talk a little bit about one more important thing, which is inside big organization, which is training. You always need to train your people. You always need to make sure that they have the correct knowledge. They know everything. They know the most updated thing, because things always change. Business is a living creature. It always moves and always change. So let's talk a little bit about how important is training and how important is face-to-face training.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for bringing this question, because I will be getting into training programs as well based on my book. Why I say this and why I am insisting on getting into this is one of my experience. When I started my college, my brother had given me the book, The 7 Habits, right? I was never able to complete this book. Same, again, when I came into my company, they had a face-to-face training program for this book. The knowledge that I gained from there and the way it changed my life after that made a big impact. Now, if you say there are a lot of online training programs which are available today, and a lot of companies are doing that, they would just give you some online access. They would just give you a number of hours for the year. This is your target. You need to achieve it as you want.
That's even the good case. Most of the companies even don't do that.
Oh my God, that's really bad, because how will you develop your company if you don't have the right talent, correct?
Definitely.
So the point is, when you have face-to-face, it makes a difference, because when you're online with so much of distraction around you, and you'll have your phone, you'll have your mobile, you have people walking around, you will never be able to complete your course. But when you are in a room, you keep your phone away, you keep it on silence, you're actually listening, you're engaging, your thought process is actually working. And that's where when you dedicate few hours, maybe it's a 1-day workshop, 2-day workshop, you are actually taking out a lot of learnings there. Because online, when you do in breaks, it doesn't really help. Lately, while doing one of the courses, I did the same course online and same course which was face-to-face. Trust me, the online I have never been, till date, not been able to complete. But thanks to the coach, they managed to complete the course within 3 months. Why? Because they forced me. This is your deadline. You have to complete your submissions. And it makes a big difference because you're interacting with people in the room as well, right? So for me, face-to-face makes a big, big, big impact. Number 1, make sure you have training programs. And number 2, make sure you have face-to-face. Technology, as much it is good, but it will make a big impact. At least the critical ones should be face to face.
Definitely, it's much better to learn face to face. I can definitely agree. Also, talk to you about one of, I think, maybe the major problems or major issues or major challenges you might say about building a new thing or starting from scratch, which is building your team, which is a huge thing. Choosing the right people, choosing the appropriate people, choosing the right roles for each of your men or women. So can you just give us some tips on creating the good and to build the right team?
Absolutely. So first of all, your vision is very important. Depending on what your services or the products are, you want to get specialization into that, right? Make sure, number one, you're positioned right from the beginning, whether it's your address, whether it's your brand positioning, extremely important. When it comes to human resource, it's very important for us to make sure the matchmaking is done right, isn't it? It's like getting married, correct? If you have a wrong partner with you, your life is done.
Definitely.
So my vision, even when it comes to the HR people, when they're doing the recruitment, make sure you understand the personality of the managers who are wanting to hire the new people, correct? Because if you're getting the extremely good talent, but if they are not getting along, you are impacting the career of the other person also who's coming in your company, because they have to go out then, right? And similarly, when the person who's giving a requirement has to be very clear with those vision. So my challenges during this period as well is to find the right people. My message is take your time. Don't be in a rush to hire people, but fire people which will impact your company. I would say that has to be a little faster. Not that that becomes a trend, but it's extremely important that your company's vision is taken care of and there's no impact coming up. So take your time to get right people, interview n number of people. Until you're not very sure, don't bring them on board, because you are taking two risks. Your own baby, which is your company, and the person who's responsible to run their family, correct? They're also coming as dependent on you. So if you're not sure that they will survive in your company, I would never recommend you to bring them on board. So be very responsible to manage the two areas.
And I will add even a third object. It's the people around, because if this work is not being done correctly, so or the environment this person brings is not good, then a lot of other people getting hurt. Like I know from my companies that once I had inappropriate somebody inside the organization, it just impacted the whole company.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah,
completely agree. I have witnessed and come across such cases as well. For such scenarios, because it can happen, right? We don't have a foolproof formula that we can completely avoid. Such people will be around. One piece of advice that I will give people who really want to focus on their career is to ignore them and focus on your work, because you have come for a purpose, right? And make sure when you are coming in a company, you contribute. Don't just warm up the seat and go back, because there is some kind of expectation coming. And what is extremely important is the journey that you will actually enjoy when you contribute, right? Because it will make you learn. It will help you yourself grow. So imagine if you've been hired for specific task, but you have been taking initiative into n number of areas. When you are moving away from that particular position, you're applying anywhere. Imagine your CV's weight that you're carrying, or tomorrow you're making something on your own. Imagine you had learning session, right? So it's all tested. All scenarios are tested that you'll be applying in your own company. So my suggestion would be focus in what you want. Forget what people are doing around. Don't give the power to other person, whomsoever it is, to disturb your own growth, your own peace of mind. It's not easy. Easy said than done. But if we give it a try, it will help.
Yeah, the thing is that I feel that the most needed things or the best things always come if you suffer before them. So
yes.
This is the suffer, this is the problem where you have to cut things from your life. You have to do things differently, but once you do it, your life becomes just much better. I want also to share some of your success stories, because I know that you're working with a lot of businesses, creating, those workshops and working with businesses and SMEs and organizations around the improval. So please share with us some of your stories around that.
Perfect. I'll start with my journey when I was in corporate to support all the companies or the new startups and the talents, because we were focused on growing Dubai and making sure there are companies or talents coming from outside to contribute the growth of the country, right? So we wanted to make sure that anybody who comes on board, who takes licenses, they're able to sustain their businesses. So even though that was not a job profile, but being a coach, I was always into that mindset. Being an entrepreneur, I was always with that mindset. I never wanted anyone to hurt themselves, whether it is their image or whether it is coming on their books, right? Because they have to sustain for a long term. So when they would come, I would actually sit and understand their requirements. And this would apply whether you're in corporate or whether you're doing your consultancies. Understanding the other person's requirement and catering to the requirement precisely is extremely important. Sometimes when people are coming in the new market and we are being here, it's a responsibility to show them the right direction, right? So we used to come across companies and entrepreneurs who wanted to come and set up big. I want to come, I want to have this big offices and I want to do so many things. We used to always advise, it's a new market. Do you have any projects in hand? No. So we would say, start small. We are here to help you. I'm here to sell, right? End of the day. But when you start small, we will also support you for your growth, whether it's one-on-one introduction, whether it is kind of networking program, which will actually fetch you some business. Then you grow, because I have everything from small office to bigger office to buildings to land. You name it and we can provide you. But make sure, if you're confident to start right away, we are happy, we can proceed. But if you have this kind of second thought, then we have these options. But again, it's your decision end of the day. But it's important for us to show you the whole picture, correct? Because sometimes you're so excited with your businesses, so excited with your ideas to just bring them up, correct? And sometimes even if you have one single project, you think you've won the world. But we always have to have a long-term strategy. There has to be a short-term and long-term. So your long-term has to be the first one. Then you go reverse. And then start putting your long-term, short-term strategies along the way. Because the more you are able to sustain with the cost within your company, even if the market goes up and down at any given point of time, you will be able to sustain. Imagine if you're not able to sustain in the good period and you have problem and the crisis hit in, you will be the first one to get closed. But if you're doing good during these rainy days, you will then be able to survive. And you will also be able to support your employees during that time. The two crises that I have witnessed in Dubai, I came across certain companies who did so well with their strategies. I was so happy to see them, because in that crisis period also, their main concern was people. It's all about people, having right people on board, taking care of them. Take care of them like babies, because they are taking care of you, right? End of the day. And if you're going to help them support during that period when they really needed you, you win the game.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. Definitely. So really inspiring what you're saying. I also wanted to share, I want you to share a little bit of what your current work is as of now, your help. You know, we talked about the book, we talked about a little bit about your workshops, stuff like that. So maybe you could elaborate about that. And I know you also have like two big initiatives. One is really about society, and one is about your upcoming fashion brand. So I want you to share all of them. If you could, please do.
Thank you so much. So one initiative is giving back to the society, and that's where the balance comes, right? Whether it's a spiritual balance, whether it's your mental balance. It's something that when you have your strategies of making money, but there are a lot of underprivileged people who want to grow, correct? But they're not able to. So here my mission is to support them, hold their hands to grow. Everything is not about money. It's something giving back. It's something keeping your conscience clear, right? So I'm on a mission to support 1 million talents, businesses, entrepreneurs, focusing also on women and youth. While I don't want to be gender biased, but this area needs support. They really need support when it comes to you to give right direction at the right given point of time. And when it comes to women, there are so many talented women out there I've come across. So I'm working in collaboration with them to start supporting them. Because when I am growing, and if you come along, it's not going to hurt me. I'm not going to have any loss. But in the bargain, if I'm able to do some benefit for you, I'm more than happy. I'll be working with a lot of NGOs as well into different areas when it comes to sustainability, when it comes to empowerment, anything that we can do for children as well. So these are the initiatives that I'm working on as well. You mentioned about the fashion.
Of course.
That's the biggest dream that I had from the childhood. So yeah, I will be working on one of the brand of my fashion, and I'll be announcing soon. I hope I come back on your show to announce my brand.
Most welcome.
And I'm working on it with full passion.
Most welcome.
Another thing that I wanted to let you know, Ilyas, is when I said I'm working on supporting women, I'm collaborating with one of the awards in India, which is focused on women. So they recognize the women achievers in India. And I have done a collaboration with them to take it outside India internationally on regular basis to recognize all the NRI women who are doing great achievements and contributing and making the country proud. This format I'm bringing under my brand name. I have two brand names. One is Unfold, one is Iconic Alphas. So this award is coming under Iconic Alphas. When we bring in this award and we are able to recognize all the women, you imagine how proud they will be of themselves, how much confidence they are going to get, because they're not getting exposure within UAE. They're getting exposure back home. You imagine when people start knowing you, what have you achieved where you are, rather than having some perseverance in their mind that what you might be doing. But when that gets validated, it's such a big thing. So this is one of the mission that we're working on. So we'll bring this awards in the month of December 2024. So I'm super excited for that as well.
Amazing, amazing. And about your workshops, you can just tell us a little bit what kind of workshops and who can benefit from them?
So any individual who want to grow, any companies who want to grow, anybody who want to excel is for them as a workshop. So the book that I have written is broken up between leadership, management, and strategy. So the workshops are being created between each of these segments, and it will be created from the manager level and above, and for the C levels as well. Because when it comes to leadership, it is C level. And then you have strategists, and then you have management who are actually implementing the vision of the company, correct? So we have created different layers of workshops, which is going to benefit all the levels in the company. So this is something that I'll be working on, and I'll be inviting all the companies and individuals to enroll on it. Go on my website. It will be published over there. My website is www.preeavmane.com. Preea is spelled as Preea because the name is common. I made the spelling unique. So looking forward to see a lot of people to come and join this and take the benefit out of the workshops.
Amazing. Preea, we've talked about so many things, sharing so many tips, understanding about really your amazing ideas and aspirations and things you want to do also after your amazing work here, making and working on the best city in the world, I think,
Absolutely.
Dubai. So it's so amazing to see, first of all, your experience and really working on the governmental level here in this place, because I really feel that the city is more of a business than a city, and seeing and understanding the ideas you've done, it really implements that and shows how much it's correct. And also, of course, the things you're doing right now, the brand, the fashion brand, the help for young women and youth and all of that. It's really aspiring and inspiring for me. So I want to thank you again for coming, Preea, and all your details, by the way, will be at the end of this video. So please, most welcome. Go out there, go to Preea's website, buy the book, read the book, and come to the workshops and be a part of everything you're doing. So thank you again for coming today.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Me too, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Business Time, the main stage for your business.